This is the George on Tap show. What's up? What's on tap in sports today? A lot's on tap, actually. And this is a fun day. I love the Tuesday show because I always get to talk about three kings, and I change it from three kings and three stooges to three kings and three jesters. Just makes a lot more sense. Get to talk about top five, bottom five NFL teams and our story of the day. And we're going to start off. Let's talk about Jaden Daniels. Holy moly. Jaden Daniels is good, guys. And the Washington Commanders, one of my picks to be a surprise team this year, might be a really good team. First of all, it might be an absolute shame. Game of Thrones style. That's what they should do with all the coaches in the NFL. Put them down, or GMs, and put them down this like in Croatia, make them walk down, go shame, shame, shame for taking so long to rehire Dan Quinn as a head coach. Now, I don't love the backwards hat. You know, he's sitting there coaching the game like this. It's not my style. Kind of looks silly there. Remember when people used to do this and they would put their hair out like that and be like, "Yo, what's up?" That's Dan Quinn. But let me fix this hat for you guys real quick. Dan Quinn's a hell of a head coach. As a defensive coordinator in Seattle, my Seahawks, he was elite. The Falcons had their best season in history. They went to the Super Bowl, and I know they blew the Super Bowl, and that was probably something they could never recover from. He goes to Dallas. They have an all-time good defense. And now with the Commanders, they're 2-1, and really they should be 3-0. God, that team should be 3-0 right now, because if you go look at their schedule, they're a team that probably should not lost. Was it to the Giants, I think? No, they beat the Giants. Probably shouldn't have lost to the Buccaneers team as bad as they did, even though the Bucs seem like up and down and they can beat anyone. Now they have a date with the Arizona Cardinals, and Cliff Kingsbury comes back to Arizona. Kyler Murray versus Jaden Daniels. Now, Jaden Daniels just looked good last night, and I saw a stat that I thought was very, very, very much worth mentioning here. That how good has this offense been for the Washington Commanders? No team in the Super Bowl era has done what the Commanders have done and just did. 2 consecutive games with 0 turnovers and 0 punts. Take about Jaden Daniels, take about Cliff Kingsbury, take about Terry McLaurin, take about Washington Commanders. What a night. 2 games in a row. No punts, no turnovers. I could be the punter. I can't even kick a football. If I was a punter, you just sit there, collect a paycheck, enjoy your time, watch Jaden Daniels play football. And here's the thing with Jaden Daniels. His interview after the game seemed button up. He seems like a guy who's overcame a lot, having to transfer from Arizona State to LSU and then winning the Heisman Trophy, which I still don't believe he should have won the Heisman Trophy. I feel like it was Michael Penix Jr. But my Lord, is he going to be an elite quarterback? Now, I was listening to the Dan Patrick show this morning, and they're like, okay, is he going to be a great quarterback? And I was thinking about it. Great. I don't know if great, but I definitely know he's going to be good if he can stay healthy. He's fast. He can run. And the crazy thing about him is his accuracy. That's what really surprised me. He went 21 for 23 and had the highest completion percentage in history of the NFL for a rookie in a game. Minimum of 20 attempts. Absolute amazing game by him. And he can run the ball. He's elusive, 12 carries, 39 yards, and a touchdown. He is Mr. Electric. He's Mr. Fun. But he's also Mr. Buttoned Up. He makes everyone was saying Terry McLaurin's a great wide receiver. We couldn't see it because he didn't have the right guy to get him the football. And he missed one of his throws he missed was to a wide open Terry McLaurin. So he could probably have 3 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. But man, if you're a Washington Commanders fan, enjoy this. You have a real quarterback, and that division is wide open. Don't be surprised if the Commanders at the end of the year are sitting on top of the NFC East. What's on tap? All right, every week we used to call this the Three Kings and Three Stooges of NFL quarterbacks, but now we're changing the name to the Three Kings and Three Jesters because it just fits a lot better in the narrative of like, okay, there's three kings, and what do kings have? They have jesters. Jesters are jokers. They're the ones who go in and do silly things and all that. So here we got our Three Kings and Three Stooges NFL quarterbacks. And one thing you have to realize about this, they're not in order. They're just Three Kings and Three Stooges. We'll start off with our Three Kings. Patrick Mahomes. He's just going to be a king until someone like knocks him off his pedestal. His stats are not what they usually are. And we know that. They're 3-0, but they can easily be 0-3. But I can't sit here and say Patrick Mahomes is not the most scary quarterback in the NFL. Through 3 games, he's having his worst statistical season so far. 659 yards, 5 touchdowns, 4 picks. Not great, but he's still a king to me. My second king, who are we going to choose? We are choosing, I already know who it is. And this is just by default. CJ Stroud, if they had won, probably would have been a king, but he played really bad. I thought about it, been thinking about it hard. It's this season and this season only. I can't believe we're putting him on here. Sam Darnold. This makes no sense to me. Everything about how good Sam Darnold's been makes 0 sense to me. So far this season, he has 657 yards, 8 touchdowns, 2 picks, and a 73.5 QBR. I do not expect Sam Darnold to remain a king the whole entire season. He's just going to take one bad game. You'll fall off the kings list. But my Lord, has he been playing good football. Take a bow, Sam Darnold. Maybe his career is saved. I guess Carolina and the New York Jets will do that to you. I've been going to 1 year of school at the Kyle Shanahan Academy. My third king, you guys probably can all guess it, is Josh Allen. Buffalo Bills are 3-0. They look like this team might not be fool's gold. And the biggest thing here is 0 interceptions and best QBR and 7 touchdowns. I mean, what is going on here? For the season, I had like a bet I loved was Josh Allen to lead the league in interceptions because he's always thrown 10 plus. Well, he's evolved. He's more careful. He still runs the ball elite. Yes, he has 7 touchdowns on throwing through the air. But let's look at his rushing totals. He has 17 rushings for 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yes, he's lost one. He has fumbled the ball 1 time. But he is my third king. Let's talk about our 3 jesters. We're going to start off with a quarterback who I don't think will be a quarterback for much longer in the NFL as a starter, and that's Will Levis of the Tennessee Titans. He's very erratic. He's 28th in QBR, 4 touchdowns, 5 picks. I guess the thing with him is he'll make a spectacular play and then make with the worst play you've ever seen, all in one game. It's pretty impressive how erratic this dude is. Will Levis is one of my 3 jesters. My second jester is Mr. Deshaun Watson. I don't know. They must be forced to keep starting him because he's so bad and he still throw him out there. Week 1, 24 for 45 for 169 yards, a pick, and 2 interceptions. Against Jacksonville, 22 for 34, basically did nothing. He ran for 1. And a loss to the Giants. I know he had 2 touchdowns. I know he had no picks, but he took 8 sacks and a 56.8 completion percentage. And the one that hurts me the most, a guy I'm not going to quit him, but we have to be honest right now, is Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars. What's wrong and why is Trevor Lawrence so broken? Go look at his stats in his career. 2021, 12 picks, 12 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. We're like, okay, he's a rookie. Peyton Manning had a bad rookie year. His second year, 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, 8 picks, 95.2 rating. You're like, all right, here he comes. Last year started off hot, but only ended up with 21 and 14. And this year, abysmal. 560 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pick. It's been absolutely awful. And against Buffalo on a national stage, this hurts me to write. 21 for 38, 178 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. And 19.8 QBR. Got sacked 4 times and just looked uncomfortable all night. Trevor Lawrence, you're a jester. My 3 kings again, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Sam Darnold. And my 3 jesters are Deshaun Watson, Will Levis, and Trevor Lawrence. 2 Clemson quarterbacks make our jester list. What's on tap? All right, we want to talk about the top 5 teams in the NFL and the bottom 5 teams in the NFL, according to yours truly, George. So let's talk about first the bottom 5. This is in no particular order. The Tennessee Titans. They're awful. Firing Mike Vrabel just seems like the most insane move ever. This team has no talent. Calvin Ridley's now disappeared. Will Levis is one of the worst quarterbacks starting in the NFL, and the team has no juice. The Raiders. Players quit, and like with Antonio Pierce as their coach, you would not expect players to quit. They're not a good team. We're going to look back at that win against the Jacksonville Jaguars later in the season and be like, how the heck did they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars? It makes no sense. All right, the Patriots. And this is no particular order. These are just the 5 worst teams. The New England Patriots. I don't know how they beat the Bengals. Their offense is horrible. It's time to put in Drake May. Just throw him in there. I know he's trying to learn under Brissett, but just throw him in there. Find out what you got. The Patriots are just no good. The Panthers, I know they won. Andy Dalton looked pretty good. They're not a good football team. That Raiders-Panthers matchup. Ugh. And last but not least, the Jaguars. Team I picked to go far this year. A team that I loved. A team that I believed in Trevor Lawrence. There's nothing to believe here other than they are just a bad football team. And if they lose badly next week to the Texans and go 0-4, Doug Peterson, maybe it was just a fluke year in Philly. And it's time to move on. All right, top 5 teams. No particular order. Remember that. Bills. We saw what they did on Monday Night Football. They've evolved into a high-powered, low-turnover, good defense. Josh Allen is probably going to win MVP team. The Chiefs, 3-0. I mean, what can you actually say about the Chiefs? They're 3-0. It's plain and simple. I know they haven't won in the most necessarily amazing fashion in every single game, but they're 3-0, and good teams put themselves in positions to win. The Vikings, the Minnesota Vikings are good. Sam Darnold's good. They're well coached. Their defense is good. They're buttoned up. Everything about this team, they have great receivers. Jordan Addison's not even playing, and they're doing this. They seem they have good vibes, and that NFC North is tough because the Packers are good, the Vikings are good, and the Lions are good. Speaking of the Lions, I have the Lions up there, and I know that might be controversial after their loss to Tampa, but that was just a weird game, and I think the Lions are still a top 5 team. They have everything you need. They have great running backs. They have good weapons. They have a good defense. They have a culture. Everything about them is culture, and I think that's a big thing for the Lions. And the Seattle Seahawks, my Seattle Seahawks, 3-0. The defense is absurd. Geno Smith looks pretty damn good. And overall, I just think the Seahawks are a really good team. They play the Lions this week. We'll see how for real they are. Monday Night Football. And that's a perfect Monday Night Football game. The 2-1 Lions can be wearing all black jerseys versus my Seattle Seahawks, who are going to try to go to 4-0 under Mike McDonald. And I think it's just going to be a really good game. Sorry, Steelers, you didn't make it. I know you're undefeated, but I just don't know if I can trust Justin Fields yet. But you wouldn't go 4-0. You'll be in there next week. Don't you worry. So those are my top five and bottom five teams: Titans, Jags, Raiders, Patriots, Panthers. No particular order. 5 worst teams in the NFL. Top 5 teams: the Chiefs, the Bills, the Vikings, the Lions, and Seahawks. Once again, in no particular order. That's my top 5. That's my bottom 5 NFL teams. Let me know if you disagree with them in the comments. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. This has been What's on Tap show by me, George on Tap. Thank you for watching. Always brought to you by the Sports on Tap. We have a daily betting show in the description below. Make sure you follow it, and hope you enjoyed football this week. We'll be back tomorrow with the biggest news in sports. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.